Do you remember little spelling rules that we had when we were in grammar school? I'm sure everybody remembers this. I remember Sister Ann coming up before our second grade class, and she'd say, "Name the vowels. Name your vowels." The vowels are A, E, I, O, U, and sometimes Y. It's the sometimes Y that always threw me off, though. Why? This is Catholic Schools Week. I love it. There's no better Mass to celebrate than when we have the kids here. I just love it. And it brings back to my mind all of those spelling rhymes and rules that we had to learn so we could spell correctly. How about this one? Do you remember this? This spelling rule? I before E except after C. Remember that? To this day, I do that. I still use that. Spelling like friend, F-R-I-E-N-D, I before E except after C, and spelling words like ceiling, C-E-I-L-I-N-G. It works. Spelling rules work, and it's Catholic Schools Week. I think that it fits right into the scripture this Sunday, because we get, I guess you could say, a spelling rule from the greatest of all Christian teachers, and that was St. Paul. He teaches us how to spell love, which is one of the most difficult words to spell correctly. And he gives us 7 rules to spell love. 1, love is patient. 2, love is kind. 3, love is never rude. 4, love does not insist on its own way. 5, love is not resentful. 6, love never rejoices in someone else's misfortune. And number 7, love bears all things. Thank you, St. Paul, for teaching us how to spell love. The spelling rules work, and it's Catholic Schools Week. Yet, I'd like to give you a little rhyme, spelling rhyme, of how to spell love. An 8th one. This one's from Father Dennis. This is how you spell love. And remember this rule. You always comes before I, and I never becomes before you. That little rule works. It means that our relationships with one another, we can never say, "What's in it for me?" Instead, it always says, "What's best for you?" You always comes before I, and I never comes before you. Spelling rules work. But boy, that is a lifelong task, isn't it? Placing you before I. But it builds us. It builds us. It teaches us one of the most important lessons that we all need to learn, and that is genuine, heartfelt humility. And when we place you before I, it always quells arguments. It never fails. When spelling love, placing you before I, it exercises and expresses compassion, which is the overriding approach of Jesus. As a matter of fact, I think Jesus taught us that putting you before I is highly important. He always did it. I before E except after C. Spelling rules work. You before I, never I before you, is the key to lifelong relationships. There is no better place in the world than to learn this most important spelling rule than in our Catholic schools. May God bless our schools.